Happy Hump Day, members of the Altcoin Buzz Army. Maddie here with you on this Wednesday. I hope you're having a terrific midweek. So this is kind of late news at this point. We had some exuberance earlier in the day. Of course, you've likely heard Elon Musk coming out and saying that you can now buy a Tesla, a car, with Bitcoin. And that was kind of supposed to be a big deal. We did see a lot of positive price action initially, but no longer, I have to say. At the time of this recording, Bitcoin just bounced off of $53,000. So a pretty big retracement despite this positive news. You can read more about it on Cointelegraph.com. News cycles in this space seem to move very, very quickly indeed. And even something from 12, 13 hours ago, you can go back in time via Twitter. Twitter is the ultimate time machine, right? And you can kind of really put your finger on the pulse of the enthusiasm that we were feeling just a half day ago. And now that's not so much the case. Unfortunately, for reasons that aren't clear to me, we're suffering a bit of a retracement right now. And as I mentioned, Bitcoin recovering now after I've hit the record button, but just bouncing off of 53K, yikes. So the market being a little bit schizophrenic right now. It doesn't really know what it wants to do. It's up, it's down. 60K is proving to be a bit of an obstacle indeed. But with that kind of context aside, we're going to go through a whole lot of altcoin updates today, guys, including some big ones. Theta setting new all-time highs. Yes, down right now with the rest of the market, but Theta still just clinging to that spot, still in the top 10 right now. We'll be discussing big updates to Theta Network, Crypto.com, Mantra DAO. We'll be discussing Frontier, Cartesi, Chainlink, Bluzelle, and a bunch of other projects as well. Of course, if you like this kind of content, guys, Bitcoin, blockchain, cryptocurrencies, and altcoins, be sure to like and subscribe to Altcoin Buzz. All right, so some of the big news from yesterday that propelled Theta, just rocketed the Theta network up into the top 10, which is, by the way, if you've been following this channel, it's something that I've been assuring you was going to happen for a long, long time. Like, I'm not even surprised. This was an inevitability. At Theta_network here, tweeting that institutional investors, Sierra Ventures, Heuristic Capital, the VR Fund, that's the Virtual Reality Fund, and GFR Fund stake over $100 million in Theta to a collective enterprise validator node. More and more big institutions getting behind Theta because they see the importance of those patents that Theta now has under their belt. They see the importance of high bandwidth video delivery and streaming technology. And also, very importantly, they see the importance behind VR, virtual reality. You can read more about that here on medium.com. Institutional investors, Sierra Ventures, Heuristic Capital, I mentioned these already. They're staking $100 million in Theta to a collective enterprise validator node. That's in addition to some of the other big names already that are part of the Theta family, including Sony and others. Speaking of all those positive Theta updates, and while we're on the subject of virtual reality, this is a project that kind of came across our desks and that we thought was very interesting. It's called Victoria VR, which purports to be a revolution in virtual reality gaming, specifically for everyone. The idea here is they're creating a massive online open world in virtual reality with photorealistic graphics. And this also ties into the world of NFTs, non-fungible tokens, because when you're building land on the blockchain that is proprietary, obviously the NFT model fits in. So there's a huge NFT market right now that's just begging to be explored in 3D VR. All of this is powered by DAO, DAO, and built on Aragon. We'll get into those details in just a second. They're using the Matic sidechain for scaling, and you can earn tokens, you can play games, you can complete quests, and you can also trade the goods and all the things that you create. So as I mentioned, they're called Victoria VR, the first massive multiplayer online open world with those photorealistic graphics in virtual reality. It's a blockchain-based world built and owned, very importantly, by its users. There's also the advantage here of staking, and stakers are rewarded directly by active users to the tune of a minimum of 18%. So before the launch of Victoria VR, stakers can stake those VR tokens for 1 year with a reward of 20%. And they can use the reward immediately to buy VR land and even use the stake as collateral to buy VR land. So investors don't have to choose between the staking bonus and VR lands. And after the launch, stakers are rewarded directly by active users with a minimum of 18% PA. You can also modify your assets or NFTs. You can combine them or even create your own non-fungible tokens in Victoria VR. The Big Market VR is the biggest 3D marketplace for all NFTs. And thanks to virtual reality and 3D space, you can trade and explore NFTs like never before. All 2D NFTs are converted to 3D objects for another added dimension of immersion. And if you think about it, as the owner of VR land, you can create literally anything on your property and you can monetize it if you so choose. You're not limited by the laws of physics or space as you traditionally would be. So, for example, you can create a completely new world on your VR land with the size of about only 10 by 10 meters as a plot. Anything can be connected to the blockchain or to the real world. You can create VR shops, games, casinos, galleries, schools, showrooms, special buildings, or even a portal that will connect Victoria VR with your VR world, game, or project. And you may be thinking to yourself that it will be difficult for a typical user to create a virtual reality project. Well, there are some easy to use tools that are built in so that everybody can create content in VR without any programming skills. This is kind of top level info, but again, it's a project that is looking interesting for a couple of different reasons, certainly very broad and very lofty ambitions. You can check out the Victoria VR website. You can also check out the Victoria VR token presale using the links here. I'll provide these in the description below. Okay, moving right along, we have this positive story about DeFi going mainstream here on news.bitcoin.com. B26 Finance, which we're going to look at in just a second, they've become the official sponsor of the Falcons, which is Dubai's basketball team. Let's take a look at some of their highlights here. Here we have this write-up from a few days ago by Deepika on altcoinbuzz.io. B26 Finance, Highway to Financial Freedom with Self-Banking. We've discussed B26 a little bit in the past. If you're hearing about them for the first time, it's a pretty innovative project. First of all, it's a platform designed to offer next-gen decentralized financial services and is aiming to disrupt traditional banking. It's helping users get back control of their hard-earned money through services like staking, farming, and of course, non-custodial wallets. The platform has already created waves in the space by offering up to 780% fixed annual interest. You can take a look at some of the figures here. Deepika breaks them down. Some pretty, as she puts it, extraordinary staking rewards are now currently live. These guys are going to be going more and more mainstream, we expect, in the weeks and months and years to come. The acquisition, I shouldn't say the acquisition, but their sponsorship involvement with that Dubai Falcons basketball team is certainly a good start. So check out the article in full for all the technicals and the additional information. If you're interested in exploring this kind of project, certainly some of the percentage yields and the high interest that B26 offers is worth your attention. I'll link to this, of course, in the description below. Let's discuss B21 entering DeFi. Immense growth expected, also on altcoinbuzz.io, also by Deepika here. So over the last 30 days, B21, the native B21 Invest token price has jumped over 500%. However, it seems like this was just a warm-up, at least in our opinion. With the first DeFi token listing on a major decentralized exchange, B21 is poised, potentially, although not financial advice, for explosive growth. B21 Invest, the simplified crypto portfolio app that aims to bring crypto and DeFi to the mainstream, achieved a significant milestone recently. According to the official blog, the ERC20 B21 token has been revamped as a BEP20 BB21 token. This has enabled its listing on PancakeSwap, one of the leading decentralized exchanges. And as a result of the revamp, the token has added support for Binance Smart Chain. This marks the first step towards multi-chain integration of native token, which will soon add support for Polkadot, Solana, and other blockchains as well. Check out Deepika's write-up, guys, for all the information. We'll link to this, of course, in the description below. Uniswap is in the news in a big way. This from the 23rd of March. You may have heard about this. It's pretty big news, actually. They're introducing Uniswap version 3. Version 1, if you can believe it, was launched all the way back in November of 2018. Version 2, fast forward, was launched in May of 2020. And now, looking at the current landscape, Uniswap serves as a critical infrastructure for decentralized finance. Yesterday, the 23rd of March, they were excited to present an overview of Uniswap v3. We are targeting an L1 Ethereum mainnet launch on the 5th of May with an L2 deployment on Optimism to follow shortly thereafter. We've got you covered here with all the details. This article by Daniel on altcoinbuzz.io. Finally, Uniswap v3 details revealed. Multiple fee tiers and concentrated liquidity are just two of the features to be found in Uniswap v3. Check it out. Crypto.com here is in the news, at CryptoCom on Twitter. Own the culture you love. New NFTs, non-fungible tokens from Boss Logic, dropping Friday, the 26th of March. Boss Logic, by the way, a pretty incredible digital artist. If you're not familiar with that name, check out his stuff. He does great work. Don't miss a drop. Sign up now on crypto.com/NFT. You guys can read the details here on blog.crypto.com. They're launching an NFT platform with exclusive content from not only Boss Logic, get this, from Aston Martin Cognizant Formula One team, Axel Mansour, Boss Logic, Boy George, K-Camp, Cloud, Clarence Maluta with Lionel Richie, Mr. Brainwash, Opus, Snoop Dogg, and more. I only recognize maybe half of those names myself, but pretty big list, and one which I'm sure they're going to be adding to as time goes by. Crypto.com getting into the NFT game here, and why not? Good on them. Mantra DAO is in the news here. This from a couple days ago, and you can also check out Leia's interview with John Patrick Mullen. We released that earlier today. John Patrick Mullen, the co-founder of Mantra DAO. So at Mantra DAO is expanding to Binance Smart Chain. This, of course, was discussed in the interview. Follow our recent listing on Binance. We will strengthen our commitment to the Binance ecosystem, starting with the BSC integration of our Zendit Launchpad. That's great news for our friends over at Mantra DAO. You can read more about that here on medium.com. TIDAL Finance here in the news. They're excited to announce their partnership with Elrond Network, a blockchain protocol that seeks to offer extremely fast transaction speeds by using sharding. TIDAL will provide insurance to assets and smart contracts on Elrond. More of that info is available here on tidalfinance.medium.com. TIDAL partners with Elrond to provide insurance and increased security. And then Frontier. I've been doing these altcoin polls lately, asking you guys what you're most excited about. Many of you are telling me that I got to start including Frontier as one of the options here. Maybe in the next poll, I will include Frontier because clearly there are some fans out there in the Altcoin Buzz army. At frontier.xyz, Binance Pay adds support for Front, enabling borderless crypto payments. We're excited to announce that Binance Pay has added support for Front, enabling millions of registered Binance users to send and receive and make payments to merchants in Front. You can read more about that here on blog.frontierwallet.com. Moving right along, Cartesi is in the news. At Cartesi Project is the Twitter handle. They're excited to announce that they're partnering with the world's leading cryptocurrency-friendly online travel agency, Travala.com, to unlock purchasing power for over 3 million travel products with their ticker, their token, CTSI. Hashtag Cartesi, Travala. AVA is Travala's tickers, by the way. You can read more about that here on medium.com. Cartesi partners with Travala. Travala, not in an indiscriminate way, but they're partnering with a lot of different projects. A lot of the best ones are already affiliated with Travala.com. So kudos to Cartesi for joining that very prestigious and distinct group. That's awesome news for both parties. Fantastic. Paid Network here. They're in the news from a couple days ago. We're thrilled to announce our partnership with Bifrost.io, a middleware platform that enables developers to create dApps on top of multiple protocols. Paid will support Bifrost in the legal domain via smart agreement dApp to facilitate business agreements. If you're interested in learning more, check this out. Paid Network partners with Bifrost on paidnetwork.medium.com. DAFI protocol. We covered them the other day. Robert did. I shouldn't take credit, but you can check out his work here discussing DAFI protocol in an overview video. We'll link to that in the description below. But DAFI protocol is excited to announce that they've partnered with Bridge Mutual to integrate synthetics for their staking rewards. Through this, Bridge will be able to create long-term staking with better incentives for their entire network. Great news for DAFI. Great news for Bridge Mutual. Read more about that on dafiprotocol.medium.com. Chainlink here is in the news. Chainlink is a bit of a laggard with its price, I have to say. I was expecting a breakout a little bit sooner, but it's coming. It's inevitable. At Chainlink on Twitter. Decentralized storage network Filecoin will integrate Chainlink oracles to create an end-to-end Web 3.0 development stack, enabling bidirectional communication between Filecoin and smart contracts for novel use cases like NFT insurance and data DAOs. More on that is here on Filecoin.io. Filecoin and Chainlink integration to bring advanced decentralized storage solutions to Web 3.0 developers. Covalent here is in the news. They're delighted to bring their indexing solution to Phantom FDN, the high-performance, scalable, customizable, and secure smart contract platform. Phantom users will soon be able to query Phantom blockchain data seamlessly using the Covalent API. More on that here, covalenthq.com/blog. And Bluzelle here is in the news. They're thrilled to announce that ANKR have joined the Bluzelle ecosystem as a validator. ANKR is a distributed cloud computing platform implemented on trusted hardware, building a gateway to Web3 to connect users and developers. More on that is available here. You can read about it on blog.bluzelle.com. They welcome ANKR as a validator. I told you guys that was a lot in the news today. ARPA official here. ARPA partners with Phoenix Chain for multiple party computation and blockchain solutions. ARPA to integrate with Phoenix on a technical level. PHB Phoenix to add hashtag ARPA to joint enterprise solution providers roster. Thanks to Yahoo Finance for reporting. And this kind of struck me as a bit of an obscure project for finance.yahoo.com to be covering. Nevertheless, they did. If you're interested, we'll link to this in the description below. DAOmaker here. They're joining forces with Blockstart. Backed by the European Union, Blockstart EU is a hand-picked community of investors, experts, and founders focusing on supporting Europe's most talented blockchain innovators. Blockstart is supporting over 40 startups. More info is available here. Blockstart and DAOmaker join forces to build a more inclusive and sustainable blockchain ecosystem. All right, last couple of stories here. Orion protocol is in the news. Orion has you covered. POLKACOVER will provide insurance cover for Orion terminal users, including hacks of connected exchanges, legal fees, phishing attacks, and more. It's going to be covering Orion terminal trading, ORN staking, and user assets. More info here on POLKACOVER.medium.com. POLKACOVER partners with Orion protocol. And finally, more Frontier news. Frontier forms strategic partnership with UNMARSHAL, which, by the way, was one of the latest installments in our most recent 100 times moonshots video, part 3 specifically. We discussed UNMARSHAL and the potential that we feel it has. So Frontier, strategic partnership with UNMARSHAL to introduce rich and decoded data querying to DeFi aggregation layer. With this collaboration, UNMARSHAL will be providing on-chain data across multiple chains to Frontier. More on that, if you want to read about it, is available on blog.frontierwallet.com. So, lots of news happening in the altcoin space, guys. You know, the market can do what the market chooses to do. The market will go up, the market will go down. But on down days, you know, we're down a few percentage points at the time of this recording. Who cares? That's kind of my motto right now. Who cares? If you know that there's this much happening behind the scenes every day, and by the way, we're still excluding like 70-80% of the updates that we see. There's just way too much to cover. But my point is that with this happening behind the scenes, with all of this activity, it's just like this hive of energy right now in cryptocurrency, in altcoins especially. Tell me that you're not confident about this space. Tell me that we're not going to see new all-time highs for Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and by extension altcoins. My point is that, the numbers are going to do what the numbers do at a micro level. Don't be too concerned about that. When in doubt, zoom out. Realize from a macro perspective, that we're going to be onto very big things very soon, and we're all going to be very happy as long as we're a little bit patient, as long as we don't panic, and as long as we have at least some strength in our hands, right? So not that that is financial advice, but best of luck, guys, if you choose to invest. Do be sure you're following us on all the regular social media channels. Keep checking back into altcoinbuzz.io for all the latest. Like, subscribe, share, hit the bell to receive notifications if you enjoyed today's video. Of course, guys, stay safe, and as always, we do hope to see you again soon in the next one. Take care.